Thank you again for taking the time to sit down and speak with me. Now, when we left off, we were talking about the moment you woke up from the coma. Do you remember your initial reaction when you first saw your face? Would you like to share that with us?
You're welcome. I mean...
You still feel that way?
And do we do it perfect? No. Are we striving to do it perfect? Yes. Could we have made mistakes? Do we make mistakes? Absolutely. Do we strive to be the best? Yes. Do I think I'm falling short? No. By no means.
So, Ian, tonight we watched
Cristobal.
A newish movie came out in March, Terrifier by Damien.
Terrifying.
Damien Leone. So, what is Terrifier about?
Very simply, it is the story of a crazed clown killer terrorizing 3 women and the people who get in the way.
Yes.
That is everything you need to know about the plot of this movie.
Based on the short featured in All Hallows Eve.
So we're basically dealing with a slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the character of Art the Clown.
Yeah.
Not that I liked him. You're not supposed to like him, but like, definitely had a very interesting physicality to him. More mimish than clownish, actually.
Yeah, you're right, actually. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, very physical with his things. He told a story with the way he expressed himself physically at times. Beyond that, there's not a lot to love about this movie. There was some good gore, but not as much as I'd want for a movie that had almost no story.
I don't know if I agree with you about the gore.
Okay.
But that's what was positive about
a lot of
movie.
the action and the gore scenes were just, like, they were this close to being really good a lot of the times. And there was one really particularly excessively gory scene that I thought was really cool and well done. But then most of the rest of the scenes were very quick. Didn't necessarily show a lot of gore. Like, as soon as the gun was introduced, I thought, this doesn't feel like what makes sense for this character.
Yeah, why did they give him a gun? That was so stupid.
Yeah, I think that is...
I was so annoyed
That
when
is
that
where
happened.
I fell out of that movie, because they set him up to be motivated to torture and like maybe getting something out of torturing or fear. And when he just takes out a gun and shoots him, like, oh, come on. That doesn't feel in keeping with this character.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt
I
like
agree.
the easy thing to do in the scene.
I was definitely frustrated with that scene.
Yeah. I think that was literally the moment where I kind of stepped out of this movie and was no longer entirely on board with it.
Yeah.
You really think someone slashed my tires?
Well, he knows this is your car. He saw us getting into it earlier.
Hey, handsome!
Cut it out.
My friend wants your number.
Kill you.
The movie is definitely inspired by like
Yeah.
70s, 80s slashers. And,
For sure.
And so those movies generally don't have much of a plot either. So I don't think that's the weakest part of this movie, but...
Yeah, so this is pretty straightforward a slasher movie.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word. What I would have liked to have seen is either I want to know more about why Art the Clown is what he is. You often do with Freddy, with Jason, with Michael. You at least get a sense of
Do you with
who
Michael?
they are or why they. At least well, you at least get a little bit of a sense that he came from a mental institution. He had some abuse in his life.
Whoa,
Like, you get
whoa,
none of
whoa,
that with Art.
whoa! We're not talking Rob Zombie's Halloween here. That
I've never
garbage
seen that.
trash. Oh, well, you don't get abuse from.
Isn't that how he
Michael
wound
Myers.
up? Isn't that how part of how he wound up in the mental hospital?
No, he wound up in the mental hospital because he killed his sister.
Okay. Well, in any case, you
When
get
he was a kid.
You get at least some of their past, even if it doesn't tell you a lot. Even if it's not a fully fleshed story, like you get a sense of either who they are or why they are. You don't get that with Art, and I don't need that. Or you need to have a really clear story arc for the victims or potential victims. Like maybe in this case, you could have seen the 2 sisters patch up the relationship and come out of this stronger somehow, or at least one of them, a character, come out of this having had some kind of arc, some kind of dealing with something, like make it some kind of interesting reflection on an aspect of their character. And you don't get that either.
No, this movie says nothing. It says nothing.
You could just make this a straight up like gore porn kind of a movie where it's just gore this, gore that, gore all over the place, and just absolutely obscene over the top. I would have accepted any one of those 3 things. I don't think we got any of those 3 things.
How is this not over the top? You fucking
There is one distinct scene where it was very over the top.
No.
I expected to see. So what would you say? There's like 6 to 8 deaths in this movie. Only one of them was particularly brutal and disgusting in the way that you'd expect a slasher film, especially one that focuses on the gore to be. And a lot of them were, he got knocked in the head with a hammer and now he's out, or she got shot a couple times.
See, I don't
and she's
know
down.
if I agree, because I think a lot of movies we'd watch nowadays, it would show, oh, the axe is gonna come up. You don't see the impact. You might see it sticking in the head. That's it.
Right.
But this always elevated past that, where oh, he's got a butcher knife. Oh, he stabs her.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's gonna stab her again and twist the knife, and you're gonna see the blood.
Yeah.
I thought this movie went. You had so many arm cut off. You had eyes gouged out. There's lots of that.
There were good moments, but there were too many other ones where they
I
missed.
feel like we so often complain that a movie, especially a low budget movie, either it tries to have a decent story and fails at that, or it doesn't have enough like kills or gore scenes to keep somebody entertained. Like you can either go one route, not have a good story, but at least be entertaining with its
That's kind of what I was getting at earlier.
It's gore and stuff. And I thought this did, and I thought that it progressively did it throughout the entire movie. That you can go 10 minutes without somebody getting killed in this movie.
I mean, I guess we should say, usually we talk about expectations when we start these reviews, and we didn't do that this time. I'm not overly fond of clown movies.
No.
And not because like, oh my god, I'm scared of clowns. I don't get it. They don't do anything for me as a rule. I happen to really like the performance and the makeup for this clown. I thought it was pretty solid. And the set they put him in was pretty good. But then, like I said, there's no story to really back all that up. And I'm kind of over slasher films for the most part. Like, if you can find something really interesting to do with them, I'm for sure on board. I like a good horror movie. And if you find something really cool to do with it, I'm on board. There's nothing in this that drew me in that way.
But there has been some recent decent slashers. Did you see Hush?
I did not.
The movie has a bit of a gimmick. It's on Netflix, where the girl is deaf and she's being stalked by a guy in a mask in her house, which is an interesting twist on the slasher genre. Like, you know, gives it some sort of gimmick. But then there's like High Tension, which is kind of in the vein of something like this, where it has a decent twist and it's very, very gory and violent. That's where this movie shines, in that it's super explicit sometimes.
Sometimes.
Maybe more so than a lot of slashers are.
Yeah.
I wanna spoil it because I want to talk about.
That's fine. There's not much
I want
to
to
spoil
talk
with this
about a
one.
specific scene, so we're gonna spoil it. 50 minutes in the movie, they kill off their main character like a Hitchcock movie. You know, it's Psycho. You're killing her off in the shower, which you have your false protagonist there.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, so typically also with slasher movies, you tend to get some kind of moralization, whether intentional or not.
Right.
Like typically with your 80s slashers, you know, there was a mostly unintentional, I think, thing where all the kids who had premarital sex or smoked pot all wound up getting killed, whereas the more pure ones didn't. But then you didn't really get much of
He has no
that
he has
either.
no morals. He has nothing. He's
Because
just
you see, there's the one party girl who does seem more that type that would get killed in the slasher movie, but her friend who maybe gets dragged around all these things, but she seemed a little bit more like that protagonist, like
she's your Laurie Strode,
of the traditional slasher film.
She's the final girl.
Yeah.
But
I'd say my biggest complaint with this movie too is that they have the twist ending at the beginning of the movie, and then there was no surprises throughout, other than maybe you thought
killing the protagonist is a surprise.
To a degree. You know, some people like slashers are their jam. They really like slashers. If that's the case, I would expect you'd probably like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I like slashers. I like some, but I think it's more towards art is a good character and can be explored more. I think the movie's written pretty poorly and it feels like it just meanders all over the place because there's no real plot to this movie.
No.
It's a cat and mouse, hide and seek kind of thing.
I don't think it meanders so much as it doesn't really have a...
Well, I mean, it just feels like the characters just going, like, what are we shooting next? Like, what? You know, it's not really a story.
Yeah. So really, like you said, Hush had that interesting gimmick. This movie's gimmick was really just that it was a clown, and a lot of people find clowns creepy, and this clown was in fact creepy.
I think it was surprising in the things he did. You never knew what he was going to be up to. Like the one time he like wears a woman's skin and acts like he's a
It's definitely an unpredictable.
He's
villain.
Unpredictable. He's a good villain.
And like a typical slasher villain, he always pops up where you know, at least the characters don't expect him to. Almost magically at times.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What, did you think he was gonna hack me up into little pieces or something?
I didn't hate the movie as much as maybe I'm making it sound.
Yeah, you sound like you hate it.
It was fine.
Don't be a hater.
I don't usually want to spend my time on a fine slasher movie. If slasher movies are your jam, check it out. This one's a little different. It's worth it.
This movie, I didn't care about a girl getting sawed in half. I did think the effect was cool, but again, I didn't care about anything in this movie. So, I don't think this is some like genre bending, mind-altering thing.
No.
But I did think it was pretty fun. So
you'd recommend it?
I would recommend it.
Okay.
That's gonna do it for Terrifier. My name's Chris.
I'm Ian.
And we'll see you next time on Bad Movie Night. If you like what you've seen, do something about it.
Make sure you like the video. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah, let us know what you thought of Terrifier, because like I said, a lot of people have positive things about it. And
check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Twitter for the goofs.
We're on the Twitters.
Check out the Bad Movie Night subreddit. Let us know. We're talking about movies there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you going? Are we done? Are you still going?
Sit your motherfucking ass down. Now we're done.
Okay.
I'm Ian.
Hey, I'm Chris. Mansplaining me over here. I know my name, son.
You're delaying. I wasn't sure if you were going to do it.
I literally didn't delay. You gave me literally 0.2 seconds.
I thought the viewers...
Hey, I'm Ian. Oh, dear Chris!
I thought the viewers needed an explanation.
They do. Okay, here we go. All right.
What do you think? They're all subscribers? We get some new people in with this one, I bet.
No, we don't.
People like the clown movies.
No.
People like the clown movies.